It's a big warm welcome then to Hawkstone Park here in Shropshire for this annual Wulfsport Twin Shock World Motocross Championship. And quite an array of stars from around the globe have gathered here today. But before that, let's join Dave Smith as he talks to the event sponsor, Bill Brown.
Bill, nice to see you here again. We bump into each other annually nowadays. Tell us a little bit about the history of this event.
It's been going now 10 years, Dave, really, the Twin Shock thing in England. It got a bit more international a few years ago. There was a World Championship. This is now, we did have Twin Shock Grand Prix, but this is now, we've designated it World Championship because we seem as though we have a hell of a lot more overseas riders.
The atmosphere is absolutely great, isn't it? And we were reminiscing last night over the dinner table with such people as Herbert Schmitz about escapades in Luxembourg, you know, things like that. You can't do that every weekend, can you?
It's a pleasure to see them out, and this is another of the reasons why we have this event. You know, and as I say, being a World Championship, it hopefully will attract even more people like Herbert Schmitz. You know, we've had people like Rex Staten from America, you know, we've had Rich Eierstadt from America, you know, that you've seen here. We've had Jorgen Nilsson, all stars, but we all love a trip down the time tunnel, Dave.
Yeah,
you know, so,
yeah.
so this is it.
We're all finding that out. A little bit of the picture today, Bill. We've talked about people like Herbie Schmitz. Got boys here from England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Australia. We've even got Barry Briggs over as a guest of honour.
Yeah. Barry loves racing of any sort, you know. Barry's just an old racer. A racer meeting anywhere, Barry's going to be there.
I found one thing this weekend that a massive entry, and you say to people, why? Oh, always wanted to ride at Hawkstone Park.
Hawkstone's a very famous track, Dave. And you see, as you know, Hawkstone normally it just hosts internationals and British championships. A lot of the guys here have never ridden Hawkstone Park, even a lot of the Brits. So they're delighted. Yesterday they got the opportunity to go up the hill. You know, the hill goes down in the annals of history, doesn't it?
A lot of new T-shirts out this morning. Been there, done that.
Absolutely.
Bill, it sounds as if we've got a race rearing up behind us, so we're going to have to let you go because I know you're out with these boys. So the best of luck for
enjoy
you.
it.
And
Thank you,
thanks for your involvement and your company Wulfsport, their involvement also.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, always.
So Bill there, of course, the over 50s world champion twice in a row, won it in America. There's Darren Hudson, the event organiser. So here we go then, the first big race of the day. These are the pre-77s, over 50s and over 60s. It's a bit of a combined class and a variety of machines, a variety of ages and a variety of speed as well. As you'll notice how some of them get off the start line. Should be an interesting one as we wait for them to come round to complete lap one. It looks like number 7, Jimmy Aird, that's taken the lead. Jimmy the Scot, we're looking back behind in 53, that's Bill Brown. Event sponsor, as the rest of the crew come through, taking their time as they normally do. Look out for the German who's in this. That's Hans Ronald Herweg, number 59. He's tipped to do quite well. As I said, a variety of machines and a variety of ages, variety of skills, and of course a variety of speed. Hawkstone Park, the sort of track that doesn't take prisoners. That I think was number 50, but I couldn't quite tell for the number on the side of him. There is Jimmy Aird then, number 7 going through. He's having a good race and they're enjoying it, that's for sure. That's who's behind him. It looks like this, 59, the man with the yellow shirt on, and we spoke about him earlier, the German, Hans Ronald Hulweg. It's nice to see some of our friends from abroad coming over. 96 there, chasing 53, Bill Brown. So as we look further down the field to see who's in there and who's not in there. Variety of fashions as well, as you can see. The old Bumblebee scramble shirt that they all used to wear. There's Hans just going down there. Number 14, well that's Bernie Andrews there. And Bernie, a character, an ex-BSA and Sprite factory rider. Also one of the few Brits to win the AMCA European Motocross Championship, so Bernie's no slouch, as they say. full of experience. So our race leader goes through number 7, Jimmy Ed. We're looking back behind him, as I think that's number 58 there going through. Now, according to my programme, that should have been Robin Packman from Dorset. Over 50s class, 169. He's looking a bit rapid as well, so I don't know what he had for breakfast. Should be Roy Scott, pre-77 rider. No slouch. So as they sort themselves out, 127 is the next man through on that group, and that's Mark Cook, pre-77 CCM. So it's all getting a little bit quieter now as the energy. There's Bernie. Oh, Bernie Andrews. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter how old you are or what your waistline happens to be, you can still go out there and have fun racing motorcycles. There's our German friend, Hans-Ronald Hulweg from Germany. He's having a good ride. Man behind him, 169 there, and that, of course, is Roy Scott, the Scottish rider on Husqvarna, pre-77 class. That's, of course, Bill Brown, 53. And we all know about Bill Brown. No really need to tell you any more, is there? Reputation speaks for itself. So as they make their way around to complete this first race, which again is the, I said it's a combination race, pre-77, over 50s and over 60s. 167 there, just goes through very, very quickly. Looking pretty rapid. That was Robert Maycock, a pre-77 rider from Burton. 7 and is the man that leads it, Jimmy Ed. 185 there, shoot through the picture, Gordon Forbes from Scotland. He's on a pre-77 bike. So the lads are settling down very nicely now. Looking out for Bernie again. It's getting a bit deep, some of these sections of the track now. Real test of some of the ancient suspension on some of these bikes. 39 there, that is just going through your picture very rapidly. And that should have been Norbert van Doorn from Belgium on a Mako, pre-77. There's Bill Brown from Whitehaven, of course, on the Mako, riding in the over 50s class. Of course, Bill is the current world over 50s champion. Won that in America 2 years in a row. It's time to get dust off my boots and my helmet, I think, and have a go at this. I've just qualified for the over 50s, only just. So they're fighting for the respective places. There's the checkered flag, then goes out to number 7, and it's a win for Jimmy Ed.
Willie Simpson. Willie, good to see you back on the scene again.
Yeah, I've never really been off the scene, but this is my first sort of ride on Twin Shock since, I think, 83, really racing. Raced Husky then, and yeah, it's a good weekend. It's lovely.
No, I didn't mean that you'd been off the scene. It's a long time since I've seen you myself.
Oh, aye.
How are you enjoying it? You've been round Hawkstone a few times. You've won a few races and you've had a few heartbreaks here, haven't you?
Yeah, sure have I always really enjoy it. I think most of the Grand Prix I did here, I never really had very fantastic results. I maybe got a few points, but I was always looking for better. I was always looking for top 10 sort of places, but it never seemed to come. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's good to be back.
I have vivid memories of you breaking wheels up here.
Yeah, I'm sure I broke wheels, and I can remember breaking a shock in British Championship as well.
Yeah.
That was on them red bikes. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's good. Tough circuit. You don't have much time to have a break, you know. It really does take it out of you. And on a Monday morning, you're always dead stiff, you know. No matter how fit you are, you know, you're always stiff.
Well, you've had an eventful career. Overall, it's been a happy one and a good one. You've had a few bad moments. I don't think anybody ever has a career without a few bad moments. But all in all, I don't think you can have too many complaints, can you?
No, I've been pretty lucky, you know. I've had a few broken bones, but most of them just small bones, you know. I had a bad one in my leg. I did my back last year and damaged 2 vertebrae in my back, but that healed up okay. I'm just recovering really from broken collarbone. It's taken about 10 weeks, you know, but this is my first meeting back and thoroughly enjoying it, and the collarbone's fine. Imagine.
And this at a youth for 44, is it?
Yeah, 44 Dave, yeah, that's it. And I've just got to say that I don't know how long you've known my wife, you know, but her name is definitely not Gaynor.
I've never said that. It's Vander, I know that.
Willie and Gaynor, you definitely said it. You're losing it, Dave.
Perhaps I am.
So with the pre-77 and over 50s class now run, it's on to the 4-stroke class. As we look down the field, 195 there in the frame, and that's Kev Bratt from Crewe in Cheshire. These are all 4-stroke machines. It's going to sound pretty impressive as they go up that start straight. 15-second board is up. Mr. Hudson aloft sit for the riders. The gate drops, here they go. I said it was going to be impressive as it went up that start straight, didn't I? As Darren Hudson walks back away, we wait to see who it is that gets the whole shot. Looks like number 10 coming through on that 4-stroke. And that, according to my information, should be Andy Nurden from Malmesbury in Wiltshire, just down the road from our studios. Number 34 chasing through in the pack there. That's Mitch Hughes from Crewe. And at number 21 chasing that group, that's Ollie Hagspiel, the German, on the CCM 500 4-stroke. So we do have quite an international lineup of riders from Germany, Sweden. So it's nice to see these guys turning up to enjoy the racing. 125 there. And that's Tony Snales from Cleveland. As they come down the old famous Yamaha jump, as it used to be when they had Grand Prix here. Number 43 going through there a little sedately, but nevertheless still enjoying himself. That's Dick Tett from Lim. And looking back behind that group, oh, a little tussle on here, led again by number 10, who I think is currently the race leader, Andy Nurden. Number 28 is the man behind him. That's Dougal Cullen from Aylesbury. So, yeah, we do have quite a lineup. 3-3-3, all the threes for this man. Not quite sure who he is at the moment. I can't see him here on my programme. But whoever he is, I'm sure he's out there thoroughly enjoying himself. So listen to the thunder of those machines. You can't beat the sound of a 4-stroke, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Number 41 there, comes down the hill, over the jump, looking pretty respective. That's John Sinnott from Preston. I used to race against John when he rode Kawasaki's. 28 then, Dougal Cullen from Aylesbury leads them round. 134 is the man behind them. And that, of course, is Ian Pearce from Guildford in Surrey on a Husqvarna. 3-3-3. Again, I'm not quite sure who that is, but he's going quite well, nevertheless. Another little tussle going on here. 31 and 77 are in amongst that one at the moment. That's, of course, Tom Beckett. And 31 is the man on the bike, Bob, second place. Don't believe that. How can you have a name like Bob, second place? Oh, these lads here, they're full of fun, full of jokes. You can't beat a weekend out at the Twin Shock World Championship. It really is something to savour. So as these 4-strokes wind up, 43 is the man that at the moment's giving them all a little run for their money. Dick Tett. Somebody's gone off down the bottom there. 75 looks over his shoulder. That's Nigel Jamieson from Rugby. Ooh, big handful there. He's not hanging around. More and more younger lads seem to be coming to race the old Twin Shock machines. Number 10 then, going through. Andy Nurden looking very, very comfortable on that bike. Andy, another character from yesteryear. 160 there. And that's Bill Shearers from Derby on the JBR. Quite a mixture of machinery out there at the moment. So 41. John Sinnott. Haven't seen John for a few years. Probably getting as fat and grey as I'm getting. 367. Well, right at the top of my programme, and I don't see him here, so I'm sure he's enjoying himself, whoever he is. So someone with a little bit of helmet adornment. Well, that's actually his goggles. Well, there you go. The old clip-off on one side goggles, making sure he doesn't lose them. They're too expensive to throw away nowadays. So 10 comes through. Andy Nurden, a man synonymous from racing many years ago. A man that knew his way around many tracks. 77 there. Tom Beckett still going well from Kent. Beckett on the back of his shirt. Well, he surely wants to be recognised. Not a bad idea, actually. This looks like 10, well, it could be 106 or 105. A little bit difficult to distinguish his numbers. But nevertheless, it's either David Muddyman or Steve Mitten, whichever you are, I'm sure you know. So Hawkstone Park playing host here, and the checkered flag will go out then for 134, I think it is. That's Ian Pearce, if I'm not very much mistaken. from Guildford in Surrey. Ian coming through to take it at the death. Somebody there just waiting for the next man to come through so he doesn't have to do another lap. Huge sheet. Here's Dave Smith with another character from yesteryear, Jimmy Aird.
Now I've got problems now. Jimmy Aird?
Why have you got problems?
Well, now perhaps you got the problem. Why didn't you come out for that last race?
I was recovering from the over 50s.
You've only just become an over 50.
Aye, well, sort of, but I thought maybe, I've never raced since September, so I thought I'd just bed myself in gradually, you know. I will come out.
We saw you in practice and you came over the jump at the side of us, and it was a very typical Aird move. The back wheel was sideways to the front one, but time doesn't alter you a great deal, does it?
No, it's this bike I use, you know. It's CCM, I could trust it to do anything, so I would take it to bed if it would sleep with me.
It's a so-and-so in the bike one, doesn't even want you. Anyway, less of that, let's talk about your long and lengthy career. And hell, it is a long one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's been since I was 15-year-old, so it's been a long time.
God, we won't mention how many years that is, eh? But you're still enjoying your motocross as much as ever, aren't you?
Yeah, I never have gone very well around Hawkstone. I mean, it's too hard for me. I prefer the grass circuits. The CCM prefers the grass, so it is difficult for us, you know. The bike is really... The only one guy who forced the CCM around here was Bob Wright, and the rest of us just didn't compare, so it's one of those things.
And you talking to Bob Wright is going to lead me in immediately with the gentleman at the side of you. So best of luck to you this afternoon. Nice to talk with you again. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Aird.
Another character there, of course, Jimmy Aird winning the first over 50s race. This is the over 40s race. Keep an eye on number 51 there. Jack McEwen from Leeds on the Mako. He's tipped to do quite well. 78 there, that's Reg Beaumont from Hebden. 161 there dropping onto the gate, and that's Bryn Hamilton from Glasgow. Should be a good race this. So Mr Hudson puts up the 15-second board. And they're off, here they go. I think Bill Brown has probably supplied every one of these bikes in the past. They're all Makos. And, oh, can't see who it is at the moment that leads them round. It's pretty competitive. There's 51, the man we said that tipped to do well. The old suspension on these bikes not coping so well with those big dips and jumps there. Oh, we call them whoopie-doos, I suppose. On these bikes, it will be oopie-doos. 142 there coming through near the back of the field, but he's enjoyed himself nevertheless. And that's, of course, Steve Harworth. 8. Stuart Sims from Lichfield. The old conditions here on the circuit taking their toll already. Number 84 there, Alan Lund. It can get very rough here at Hawkstone Park, as many riders will remember from the past. So 51 it is. Mr McEwen beginning to push the man in front. We've got a good race on here with this over 40s class. Thankfully, I now qualify for the over 50s, so I'm happy about that. 61 there goes through, and that's Terry Corner from Nottingham. So here they come, and we've got a battle on here. 51, I can't quite see who that is in front of him at the moment. Obviously didn't spend an awful lot of time sticking numbers on his bike before he came. 73 goes through there. Well, I can read that one fairly clearly. That's Jeff Shuttleworth from Carnforth. As they line up to find the best line through the corner. 88 going through there, and that's Graham Roberts from Wellingston. 173. Well, I shuffle through my programme very quickly. That's Keith Harding. 152. He's at the top of the shop at the moment. Let's have a look, see who that is. And that should have been Mark Foskett from Southampton. 149, I think that was, just going through. And that, according to Chris Bonds from Kent. So the old lads have travelled from far and wide to be here. As I said, we've got lads over from Germany. That's 200. And that's John Truer. So 8 there at the moment, having a good little race. Stuart Sims getting quite frantic out there. That, I think, was 86 just going through there. Couldn't got Richard May, it would be, from South Middlewich. 241 just disappears through the picture. That's Louis Davis, I think, from Didcot. So we're looking back to see if we can pick up number 51 as 166 goes through. Peter Lightfoot from Penrith. And we're looking very eagerly for that bike. So number 80 there takes a nice gingerly line through. Mick Garston from Grantham. 155 on the front of the bike, and that should be Nick Penmore from Gloucestershire. Number 70 with the silencer that no way would pass the noise test, Phil Wadsworth. They're looking for the leader, and there he is. Me, he says. 51. Mr. McEwen says, it's me, I won. So here's Dave Smith, one of our friends from Germany.
As I was talking about Bob Wright, here's the man at the side of me who knew him very well back in the 70s from Germany, Herbert Schmitz. And nice to see you here this afternoon, Herbert.
Sorry, I'm speaking not so good English.
I know that you only speak a little, but it's quite good. Shall I get you a beer first? That may help you to speak better.
No, it's better when I speak German, so I can understand everything.
How are you enjoying your motocross in the Twin Shock series? Twin Shock, good?
Yeah, it's not so bad, but it's the second race for this year, and it's not so easy for me. So it's hard to train on this track, so and it's very hard to ride here. It's not so
And this is your first time at Hawkstone Park?
I come here for 20 or 22 years ago, so it's the first time, the second time now.
Well, we wish you the best of luck this afternoon, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people rooting for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Herbert Schmitz.
Oh, well, OK, here we move on to the 250 class. And keep a watchful eye out on 211, Piers Waddington from Rothwell on the Honda. So I said, we've got people from all around the globe here today, even from Australia. It's a long way to come to race an old bike around Hawkstone Park, but certainly well worth the trip. So as they get away, let's see who it is that gets out in front. Looks like number 9, I think, that's got there in the lead. That's John Fleming. And the battles are on further back. That was number 13, I think, just going through. I'm not sure who that was. Might be unlucky for him. That looked like 119 just going through there. I just caught a glimpse of his front number plate, and that would be Robert Hitchin from Gloucestershire. Oh, well, 117's got a problem. Paul Beard from Oswestry. He's back on the bike, safely away, which is always good to see. Can't quite see who's at the moment. 108 just going through there. Would have been nice if some of these lads had spent a bit more money on their numbers on the side of the bikes. It was Kevin Green, incidentally, 108. So here they come. 204 followed by 10. So you know who they are. 121 going through there. Far too fast for me. Looking a little bit further back. Looks like 191 at the moment. That's Scott Mathieu. Well, of course, those of you who know the Mathieu family, that's the son of Peter Mathieu, the current Twin Shock International champion. Scott now racing bikes. Nice to see it. Not sure whether Emma, the daughter, will take up racing bikes soon, but we'll wait and see. 48 there just going through. It's one of our friends from Holland. Oh, we've got riders from Australia and all over the place. Oh, got a couple here, can't make their mind up who wants to race who. It's number 13, one of them, who's a bit of a mystery man at the moment because I'm not sure who he is. That was 177 just going through there momentarily. Mark Sinnott. Oh, somebody's broke his bike. 199. It looked like 199, I think. That would be Carl Banks from Crewe. Front wheel looks to have fallen out. Well, they are pretty ancient, some of these machines, so they don't hold together so well as the modern bikes do, but doesn't seem to stop these guys from still racing them quite competitively around this Hawkstone Park Grand Prix circuit. And it is sad that we're not going to see another motocross Grand Prix return here to Shropshire. 182 there going through. Kevin Louth from Portsmouth. looking a little bit further back behind him as we pick up some of the numbers. 117, Paul Beard. 191, well, Scott Mathieu looking very quick at the moment, obviously picking up some of the talents from his father, Peter Mathieu. 48 there, just going past 56, Steve Few from Bristol. So our friend from Holland going pretty quickly. I'm not quite sure who that is. Looks like he's got half a number on the side of the bike. Well, back in those days, everything was manually lap scored. Nowadays, of course, it's all electronic, but not here today. They've still got their pencils and bits of paper poised in the lap scoring area. Whoa, these guys are certainly going for this on these 250s. No holes barred. Look at it, jumping into the sand hole. Well, not everybody jumping into the sand hole. 115, he comes out of there looking quite swift, as they say. David Cook from Birmingham. He's back behind, that's 130 there going through, and that, of course, is John Baird from Ayrshire in Scotland. Most of them I've said are on makers. Look at these lads. 108 there goes through, looking pretty quick, and so he should, because that is Kevin Green. Comes from Kingsway in Herts. He's actually got his house number here in the programme, so got to call around for a cup of tea. It's number 65. 125 there going through, looking a little bit more sedate than the other guys. Tony Smales. And Tony comes from Cleveland, but that's the notorious Honda sand hole that they're going through now, as 136 opens up the throttle and goes for a big one. So here they come. That's it. 211, Piers Waddington from Rothwell takes the win. Let's join old Dave Smith again as he talks to another celebrity.
I've got Bernie Andrews here. Raced away and left us for about 10 years. Went racing in Zimbabwe, didn't you?
Zambia.
Zambia? Is it Zambia?
Zimbabwe.
Well, it's next door, isn't it?
Next door. Yeah.
See, I know my geography. You're doing this all the time now, Twin Shocks?
Yeah, every week.
And thoroughly enjoying yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
And they told me you were running the beer tent last night, is that right?
No, I only had two.
Only two? Two gallons?
No.
Well, good to see you. Best of luck this afternoon. One of the ever popular ones, ladies and gentlemen, Bernie Andrews.
So here we go, this is the big one, the international race. Number 5 there, just going away, that's Jeff Leaney. We've got some right and good names in this one. 32, Willie Simpson then leads them around. Keep an eye out for number 1, Peter Mathieu, the defending champion. As the rest of the crew come through, number 6 there, that's Sam Turkin. As the rest of the crew come through, 21, that's one of our German friends, Olli Hagspiel. All the way over from Germany and enjoying himself. And look at Willie Simpson. He's not lost any of the old flair, the old warhorse himself. I have to say this, probably one of the oldest 500 Grand Prix riders of all time. He just seemed to keep going, old Willie did. There's Peter Mathieu, number 1. And that's 18, that's Paul Harrison from Market Harborough, the ex-New Zealand champion and former British international rider. So it is 32 then, the Scot, Wiley Willie, that leads the round, and just look at the style. The man just doesn't seem to forget anything. 15 there, Jeff Mays on the Kawasaki with 83, the man behind him, pressuring him at the moment. That's, of course, One Knight, another one of our international riders. 26 there goes through on that all-yellow Steve Shuttleworth Suzuki. Well, it would be with that colour, wouldn't it? Ah, there he is, Willie Simpson, showing that he's lost none of his old skills. And that's the German rider, Herbert Schmitz, there chasing Willie at the moment, giving him a good race for his money. So 83 still chasing hard at the moment, Mr. Knight. Jeff Mays is behind him, number 15 on the Kawasaki. Jeff, of course, has the Jeff Mays training schools. Number 2, well, you know who that is, Steve Howe from Claydon. Steve, former British 4-stroke champion. 36 there goes through. That's Wolfgang Schrade from Germany. Quite a crowd turned out here today, which is nice to see. Number 16 there. That's Billy Edwards from Scotland. He's got Roger Garrett behind him. If I was to add the combined ages of some of the riders here today, we'd end up with quite a significant figure, but I won't. 32, Willie Simpson. Certainly not the oldest of the lot that's out on the track at the moment, but looks like one of the fittest. 83. He's going darn well, Mr. Knight, at the moment. Still got Mays behind him. This is the battle, I think, for the top four place. 26 on the Suzuki, still going very nice. Steve Shuttleworth. 19 there going through, and that's Mick Ashford from the West Midlands. Haven't seen too much of Pete Matthew at the moment. So Willie already beginning to pick his way through the slower riders as One Knight goes through. 18, oh that's 16, sorry, not 18, I apologise. Billy Edwards should have known by the portly, well I won't call him portly because he certainly isn't that portly. So here's the man that at the moment has the legs on the rest of them, 32, Willie Simpson. And Willie just seems to get quicker as he gets older. Here's the man who's got the #1 plate on the bike, has it for the last 2 years, that's Peter Mathieu. The local lad from Wem, just down the road, he's a plumber. And I think Maith might be losing that #1 plate this time round because Willie looks on course to win all the races. 21 there, again that's Ollie Hagschmiel, our German friend. It's nice to see him with us. 26, of course, is Steve Shuttleworth. From Arkham in Furness, Steve. They've travelled from around the globe. 19 still there, Mick Ashford from the West Midlands on the KTM. A real mixture of machines. And Willie Simpson is just about left everybody behind. I'm fairly sure that if you were to put Willie in a 500 Grand Prix nowadays up against the old Smets, he'd still be able to finish in the top 20. 18 then, Paul Harrison. Ex-New Zealand champion, and that's no mean feat because New Zealand does turn out some good riders. So looking down the field, Steve Shuttleworth is still in there, has now got 35 behind him, Richard Allen from Granby on the Suzuki. There's the checkered flag, it goes out to Willie Simpson, and no stopping Willie today, that was for sure. Crowd applaud him, and so they should. The old wily warhorse has lost none of his old speed. Had the day been successful? We asked Dave Smith.
I think it's been very successful, most enjoyable. Twin shock racing is totally different to Grand Prix racing in that all the hectic side is taken out of it and it's all old mates together, and if there's a problem they help each other, they don't lock themselves away in campers. Totally different atmosphere.
Right, so has the turnout been pretty good?
Yeah. One of the biggest turnouts ever for a twin shock meeting, I think, because I think so many people want to ride the famous Hawkstone Park Hill. It's very nice to see people like Herbert Schmitz, who I knew 20 years ago when he was racing Grand Prix under the German flag, and people like him. I think he's probably the most famous person here today. It's wonderful to see these old characters, and a lot of them know me better than I know them. One or two have said to me, good to see you again. And I'm scratching my head and thinking, who the hell's that, you know? But they know me. I'm probably infamous in some ways.
So now we've got the Open Expert race. 186 there on the inside of us, waiting for the gate to drop. That's Jonathan Burrows from Tamworth. Not too many of these lads here, but they're going to enjoy themselves nevertheless. Here we go, gate drops, they get away. And it looks very much like 99, that's Paul Chipper, I think, that's led them round. 37 there, oh, hanging on to the bike for Wedding is worth at the moment. That's Chris Baker from Leeds as the rest come through, looking further down the field. 55 amongst that group at the moment, going pretty well. Phil Ryan from Boston, 124. That's Steve Ryan in actual fact, 124 from Gifford, I think it is. 105. Looking pretty quick at the moment. Dave Muddyman. 27. Oh, he's having a good race at the moment. That's Martin Russell from Hants. Crowd are enjoying this. These boys are not slow, you know, they're pretty quick. Paul Chipper is the lad that leads them at the moment on the 99 bike. This looks like, I think it's 105, indeed it is, just about to make out those numbers on the side of his bike. Dave Muddyman, from Bixworth. 55 here and 141 having their own little tussle. And 55, of course, being Phil Ryan. 143, and as I look through my programme very, very quickly, that should tell me that that, of course, is Paul Thomas. Yeah, someone else competing with us with the video camera. But his is not as big as mine. 133 just goes through there to complete another lap. Craig Elwell from Maidstone. And we're looking a bit further back behind him, number 100 there. Archie Baird from Scotland. Got a lot of lads come down from Scotland for this. It's the invasion of the Celts, I think. So as 105 goes through there to complete another lap, and that's David Muddyman. He's going well at the moment. 120 there. He's got his goggles over the handlebars. Keith Halliday. There's the last lap flag. Checkered next time round. 27 comes through. Martin Russell, followed by 137 at the moment. And we're looking for that 99 biker Paul Chipper, because he's the one that's led them through. 186 there goes through to complete another lap, and that's Jonathan Burrows. Could this be Paul Chipper? He's looking pretty rapid. Yes, indeed it is. 99. Paul Chipper then takes the checkered flag in the Open Experts race. And he went well there, showing no signs of being on an older bike. So there's the machine of 137. And that's, of course, Steve Owen from Bristol. Not quite sure which end is which at the moment. This, I think, is 124. It is indeed Steve Ryan. Making a few late adjustments. That's Bob McMinn from the Nantwich Club, talking to the lads. Bob, a rider in his own right, in his own day. So the international lads are back on the line again for their second race. Crowd are waiting to see if Willie Simpson can do it again. Get a quick picture. 36 there, sits on the gate, ready to go. That's Wolfgang Schrade, the German. I can see Jeff Mays at the end there on that 15 green Kawasaki. Here we go, someone's having a charge at the gate, but he got away with it. That may have been Jeremy Watley, up to his old tricks again. And it's Willie once again out there in the lead. I don't know where he gets the energy from, he must drink Iron Brew. So Willie Simpson leads the second international race. Key 3 in second. And it's really, there's Jeff Mays just going through. I can just recognise the bike in the top. Looking a little bit further down the field. This is our old friend 21 Ollie Hagspiel, the German, riding a rather ancient CCM 500. Number 6 going through there, Sam Turkin from Ireland. So they're from Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and just about everywhere at the moment. We've got people from over Germany, Australia, Holland, and it's nice to have them with us. Willie Simpson then leads this clearly away at the moment. 24, I think, is in second place. That's Key 3, Piggy Ree from Evesham. Jeff Mays behind him. Then I think Steve Howe was there as well. 35 coming through here, Richard Allen. On, I can only describe that as a Suzuki because it is yellow. Nowadays it's a bit difficult to tell what bike is what. There's our friend from Germany, number 21, Ollie Hagspiel. He will have enjoyed himself. A lot of these riders would have ridden Hawkstone Park probably over about the last 30 or so years. Certainly this man has, Willie Simpson. He's been here a few times at Grand Prix in the past. As I said before, it's a shame that we're not going to see any more World Grand Prix here at Hawkstone. It's a track that's full of memories for many people. The days of the great battles with Watley, Thorpe, Malherbe, Gabors, things to savour. 2 goes through there, Steve Howe going well at the moment, Steve. But Willie Simpson absolutely on a rail, uncatchable. Tussle on here between 19 and 16, I think that is. Mick Ashford and Billy Edwards. Not quite sure whether that was Billy in front, but got a quick glimpse of the number. See how big those sand dips have dug out now. 6 going through. Mr. Sam Turkin on the Husky. Finds a little bit more of an easier path through them. Willie, watch how he goes through. Just sets it up, gives it a little tweak of the throttle, keeps the front light, and he's through nice and comfortably. 3 going through. That's Herbert Schmitz from Germany. You remember Dave Smith spoke to him earlier. And Herbert going very well at the moment. That's Jeff Mays behind him. 34, Mitch Hughes from Crewe. It really does bang hell out of your arms. 26 going through Steve Shuttleworth. Followed by number 3, that's our old friend Steve Howe on the Husqvarna, 4-stroke. Come on, Steve, you can do it. 5 goes through Jeff Leaney, another lad from Ireland. You're looking a little unsafe and uncertain at the moment. 2.18 going through there. Shuttle through my programme very quickly, and that should be Dylan Davis from Wales. 6, and this, of course, is Sam Turkin. Oh, well, legend in his own time, for sure, Sam was. 24, Keith Ree. Keith, former AMCA champion. Good tussle on here between 2 and 26. That's, of course, Steve Howe and Steve Shuttleworth, so they're having their own little private war. Don't know who's going to get the better of it between those two. It's a question of who's the youngest. I'm not quite sure. Let them decide between themselves. So Jeff Leaney going through again to complete another lap. I think that was Stuart Sims behind him on the number 8 bike. So the 2.18 going through there. Dylan Davis from Wales is enjoying himself, that's for sure. So as they go down the hill, we're looking for that man at the front. It's not this man, 26. I can tell you that now for nothing. Steve Shuttleworth. 18 then, Paul Harrison, Kiwi champion. 19, Mick Ashford. So it may have been 18 and 19, not having that little tussle a bit earlier. Here's the man that at the moment is not battling with anybody except himself, the bike and the track. And that's, of course, Willie Simpson. Last lap flag for Willie. 16 then, this is Billy Edwards from Scotland on the Mako. He's enjoying his day out here at Hawkstone Park, that's for sure. 6, Sam Turkin. 26. No mistake in that bike or the clothing, Steve Shuttleworth. Here comes Willie. He's going to take the checkered flag this time around. And he does. Second time for today. And 2.18 coming through there. Dylan Davis to finish the race. Well, after all the energy that's been expelled on the track today, it's time to pick up the trophies. Here's Dave Smith to give us the winner of the support class.
7th position was from Germany, ladies and gentlemen, Alphonse Schrader.
Oh, yeah. Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, you're welcome.
Congratulations. Thank you.
So Alphonse Strada, David Wright, Chris Hanks, David Ashworth and Chris Ketchin there. Top 5 from that class.
Your winner this afternoon, Hans Ronald Holweg.
So Hans Ronald Holweg winning the pre-77 class. Barry Biggs there with Bill Brown. Roy Scott, Chris Story, Mark Cook. In the over 50s class, it was Jimmy Ed, Bill Brown and Derek Enwell there, 5th place.
Winner this afternoon in the 4-stroke class, ladies and gentlemen, Ian Pearce.
So Ian Pearce takes the 4-stroke cup. Great ride from him. Nigel Jamieson, Andy Nurden, Dougal Cullum and Ken Nurden. And Terry Moore then takes the honours in the 250 class. He rode well all day. With Piers Waddington, Rob Butler, Richard May and Chris Woodward in that top 5. And in the over 40s class, Jack McEwen, John Mercer, Stuart Miller, Stuart Sims, Jeff Shuttleworth. Moving on now to the open class, Paul Chipper, Craig Elwell, Martin Russell, Archie Bird and Steve Owen. And the big class here today, the International, won by Willie Simpson with Herbert Schmitz, Jeff May, Steve Howe and Warren Knight there, rounding out that top 5. Well, that's it from this year's Twin Shot Grand Prix here at Hawkstone Park. Join us next year for a lot more.